The You Don't Know Me Yet Podcast Network.
Hey, you are tuned in to Two Gems and a Mic with hosts Tanisha the Diva Mahomes and Linda L.D. Dorsey. Just know, if we talking about it, you need to hear about it. Unwind and enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to another season of Two Gems and a Mic. I'm your girl LD along with my girl Tanisha, the Diva Mahomes, and our guest Darren Smith. Welcome, folks.
Hey, how you doing?
We gonna put up with a little noise from Darren. Darren, tell the folks where you at today. I know you're a busy man.
I am at the T-Mobile Center here in Kansas City covering the Women's Big 12 Championship tonight between Iowa State and Texas Lady Longhorns.
Okay. All right. So it's so much stuff that's been happening. Football, we know, has been crazy. The NFL's been crazy the last couple of I can say from hour to hour. But the one thing that I do want to cover, let's start with Caitlin Clark. That was a big thing going on all season long. Caitlin Clark, the record breaker, right? So she broke Lynette Woodard's record. She broke Pete Maravich's record. What do y'all think about that? And her going into the WNBA?
Well, I'll start first. I know Lynette Woodard personally. She was my athletic director of the Kansas City, Missouri School District when I was in high school. So shout out to her. Great lady, great role model, and someone that I had always admired growing up. I mean, growing up, I'm a student of history, of sports history, at that, so I knew about her in the college game before the NCAA. And I know they probably still haven't. I knew about her scoring record that she had. And mind you, she did all that without a 3-point line, I think, at the time. So she was a baller. She was a hooper. And when I covered University of Kansas, I walked past her stuff in the Hall of Fame place every time I go out there. So it's always good seeing her, and glad that she got the recognition over the last few weeks for what she's done for the women's game. And Pete Maravich, I mean, of course, he's a NBA basketball Hall of Fame altogether. So the fact that he was also able to do the stuff without a 3-point line shows how great they are and how great they were at the time. So shout out to them. And, of course, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. All records are meant to be broken, so I'm pretty sure Juju Watkins will probably be breaking hers soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. What you got, Tanisha?
I mean, I think that she's one, if not the best shooter of the ball that I've seen. Overall, I mean, she's not my top player, but she definitely deserves her flowers. I mean, she's out there, putting the women's game out front. And I was just watching a podcast the other day, and Kevin Garnett was saying, I know more women players right now than in college than I know men. And I think that's huge. And I think she's had a large part of that. And it cannot be denied. So you got to give her props for bringing that excitement back to women's basketball.
Oh, yeah, I give her huge props. I think there was a lot of controversy, and I've been one that's been saying it for years. Even when Kelsey Plum was going, they said, oh, she's going to be Kelsey Plum. Right? When they said Kelsey Plum, I said, no, because Darren, like you, I'm going to hold it up. That's old school right there, right? That's Lynette Woodard. That's Lynette Woodard. That's son. I've been a fan since she was at Kansas. I was a fan when she was a Globetrotter, and been a fan after that when she came back into the WNBA.
Well, you're a little bit more seasoned than me, so you got a chance to watch her play. I was just, I was just saying.
Right. It's a 4-year difference. She's 4 years older than me. I ain't gonna say how old I am, but she's 4 years older than me. So I got a chance to watch her at Kansas. At the time that picture was taken, I was in the Army, and we were at I was in Savannah. I went to see her in Savannah. So always been a big fan. She said it herself. I mean, she was excited about the whole thing. I think the way Iowa honored her was fantastic. I mean, I saw Maya Moore there because that's Caitlin. That's who Caitlin looked up to. But I'm going to tell you what, I ain't seen nobody shoot the ball like that. Since Diana Taurasi. To shoot it like that, you just pull up from wherever. It didn't matter. If they saw the basket, if they saw the hoop, it's like I'm pulling up. So all praise goes to that shot. And there was nothing, I think, and we were talking about Pearl Moore came up, right? With all the points that Pearl Moore had. There was controversy. Pearl Moore said it herself, hey, I haven't gotten that many phone calls in years. So she did. She has really shined a light on the game, whether people liked it or not. I think she's handled it well. A lot of the controversy, I think, was in the media because people were saying, who are these people? Nobody ever heard of them. Caitlin knew who they were, and her coach did too, when she stood up and said, hey, now she's broken the real record because we had the AIAW. They didn't want to honor the players' stats from the AIAW, but they counted the coaches' stats and wins from the AIAW. So again, Caitlin, keep shining. We got this tournament coming up. They just won. So this is going to transition me into the women's conference play. They had to go into overtime against Nebraska. Iowa did. Good game, but Caitlin in Caitlin fashion came back and did what she did. I mean, the assist, she's averaging a double-double in assists and in scoring. So just amazing.
Big 12 commissioner just walked by, had to give your boy some acknowledgement. So that's how important I am around here. So as you all may continue.
So that with that, and then I think the big game, of course, there were a bunch of them, right? UConn beat Georgetown without Edwards. She had a broken nose. You had Notre Dame won. But the big game, right? Everybody knows the big game was South Carolina and LSU, right? So
Lord, yes.
That was the matchup. And
but even a big game before that, though, Linda, even a big game before that, mind you now, the game doesn't happen if they don't knock off Tennessee with that last-minute shot.
I was going to come back to that, but let's start there. Let's start there. I mean,
yes.
Because LSU game doesn't even happen if that doesn't go down.
Absolutely. So, the whole tournament, all those games were good. All of the games at all of the conferences, they were good games. That ladies put on a great show. I can't wait until the tournament. But you're absolutely right. You couldn't have paid me $1 million to say, yeah, Cardoso's going to hit that. Cardoso is going to hit that shot.
Hadn't hit one all year.
She only took 2 in her career.
That's what I'm talking about.
She took 2 in her career.
Hey, money when she needed it.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Stuff like that happens. When I was in high school, my cousin was All-American, ended up playing at the University of Arkansas. But in our state semifinal game, which was the biggest game of the year, in the quarterfinal games to get to the state semifinals or the state Final Four, we had to knock off an undefeated team here in a suburban but we did it at the municipal auditorium. He had only taken 2 3-point shots in his entire career, and the shot that we needed to get us to overtime, we had like 2 seconds left. He got the ball. I'm yelling, "Shoot the damn 3!" Now, mind you, I'm a junior in high school. I shouldn't be cursing. He throws the ball up. He shoots it, but he throws the ball up. Knocks it down. We go into double over. We ended up going to overtime, and the game went to double overtime. But we beat that team, gave them their only loss of the season, and to head to the state Final Four. But we beat them 80-73 because of his 3-point shot, getting us to overtime before beating them in double overtime. So again, just like you said, just because nobody was guarding him, but they were guarding him, but they knew he couldn't shoot a 3. But he jumped. I mean, he went up and just knocked it out like he was Steph Curry.
Right.
Yeah, that play was crazy because in my mind, I'm screaming like, why aren't y'all guarding everybody? Right? I get it. You play a little bit off the inbound player, and then once she steps in, you all over her because you don't want her getting that ball back. But you're also thinking 1.1 seconds. I would have never fouled going up the floor. I'd have let them run up the floor and just chuck one up. Chances are, if they made it, they made it, whatever.
But if I'm correct, didn't they call a timeout to advance the ball? Did they call a timeout to advance
it?
No,
they didn't. Okay. South Carolina had no timeout. Tennessee had a timeout, and I think as a Tennessee coach, I know you play that chess game, right? You don't want to call a timeout because then that gives Dawn a chance to draw up a play. But I'm gonna call a timeout because I want my team to be prepared. 1.1 second, and I got a foul to give. So what I'm thinking is, I'm calling that timeout. If somebody comes, they get the ball, slap them on the arm. It's a foul. It's a foul to give. That's gonna
But
take.
the only problem would be because of how much time it is. So whoever gets the ball, they're going to go for the shot regardless of whether that's. So even if you foul them, it's probably going to be either 2-point attempt or 3-point attempt. So you're giving them a chance to shoot the
Give them a
ball.
two. I'll give them a 2-point attempt because you know what's gonna happen if they make them both. We go to overtime. Ain't giving you no open three.
No, I get you. I get. Yeah, I'm with you on there.
And Dawn Staley called that right because she pushed. She was telling Cardoso, move down, move down. Then she realized, oh, they not gonna guard you. Move up, and whatever she said, she
And
told
shoot that blankety blank.
her. Yeah, so that was a fun game. But then we get to the next one, right? So we're in South Carolina and LSU. They building a little rival, and Angel Reese
Is
has
it
a.
really a rivalry though? If you beat a team 15 straight times,
But you know what? It is. It is a rival because Angel Reese can create a rival with anybody, and that's a good thing. You can love her, hate her, whatever. She's been good for the game because either people turn it on because they want to see her lose or they want to see her win. Either way, they're turning it on. So she cracks that. Yeah,
I was watching her talk trash to the team right before they played the game that they played before before Dawn them. The chick was on the side of it and she said something to her and she looked to say, I know you ain't talking to me. How many points you got? Well, sit over there, dude.
Reese was talking trash,
getting that money on the free throw, talking trash, yo.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. And she can back it up because she's been averaging a double. I mean, her numbers are there. Whatever. It was a good game.
But she had 15 and 15 rebounds in that game or something. 15
the other day and 15 rebounds. So she's been doing her job. Things got crazy as we know towards the end of the game, right? That was unfortunate. The part about that, it's not even the fight itself or the skirmish, whatever you want to call it. It's the comments after the skirmish that got to me. You got Dawn Staley. First thing that she says is she's apologizing for what happened. I apologize to the basketball community. Shouldn't have my team know better. Everybody get caught up in the moment. I get that. If you ever played in the sport, you're gonna get caught up in the moment. Your team fighting, you're gonna step up and see what's going on. You're gonna step onto the court and see what's going on, right? So we all know that. Then you got on the other hand, we got Kim Mulkey. What y'all think about Kim Mulkey's comments?
I think they were rude. I think it was rude, and I think it was very unprofessional for a coach to say something like, "I wish she'd have hit Angel." What you want to see a fight for? What kind of example are you showing those young ladies that's dying to play for you, and you saying something like that? No, I did not like it. I did not like it, and I don't think she gets a pass for it.
I'm gonna be a little bit more blunt. I think she's classless, and the fact that a lot more people don't call her out or didn't call her out about it is kind of disappointing. And it's funny, a lot was made about the fight itself, but a lot wasn't made about the comments after the game and the difference between the two coaches. Because think about it, what if Mulkey would have said what Staley said, and Staley said what Mulkey said? What would we be talking about?
We'd be talking. That'd be headlines. That'd be headlines right now. Mulkey says a lot. Mulkey is, to me, the Bill Belichick of women's basketball, women's college basketball.
I wouldn't even disrespect. I wouldn't even disrespect Bill Belichick like that because yeah, look, man, for a coach who had a player not only lead her to a national title but undefeated at the time, led her to her first national title, to go silent when she was trapped over in a Russian prison because of her sexuality and quote unquote weed or whatever. I got a problem with it just because of that and how she had nothing to say regarding Brittany Griner. So to me, she could get well.
Kick rocked.
Yeah, let me just leave it at that.
She has never been a fan. I've never been a fan of hers, and she don't give a shit because she don't know me from whoever. But if I had a kid, that's not where I'm sending my kid to play for her. Just because I don't care for her, the way she conducts herself. I don't care for her politics. I don't care for any of that. And she's got past with all of that, where they let her get away with. She's standing on the court, the way she gets in officials' faces and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, people, I see other coaches, they shake hands, they talk to her, whatever. She may be a whole different person behind the scenes, but if she thinks that's what people want to see, they don't want to see. And it was like, no, we didn't want to see a fight between Angel, and I heard some woman, I wish I got her name, said, "Oh, this is great for the game. This allowed the women to show their emotions and all that stuff." There's plenty of ways to show your emotions.
They
Darren,
show.
give me a mute. Yeah, so there's plenty of ways for people to show their emotions without fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's a physical game. It was a physical game the whole time. So, but hats off to South Carolina. South Carolina got a target on their back. You undefeated. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
on their back from LSU. If they come up that way, we don't know what it's going to look like in the you know the
Well,
bracket.
look, man. Look, they have a target on their back just 'cause who their coach is, and so now I don't know if we were going to talk about this. It just kind of popped in my head. But do you all have a dream scenario of what your women's Final Four will look like? Because one of the things that I was thinking about
I do.
when watching this and thinking about some of the comments that I read after the game, because I think somebody mentioned about Kevin Garnett, which is true. Because now, granted, I know a couple of players. I know some of the names of the players on KU's team because I cover the team. But when I think about men's college basketball, I don't know anybody. I don't know who the player of the year is supposed to be. I don't know who the top players will be
I
coming
don't
out in the
either.
draft.
Mm-mm.
And
And
it's,
But
it's
then
like
you
it's
do,
like what you do know in women's basketball. You know Caitlin Clark. You know Juju. You know USC. You know LSU, Ohio State. You know, and so it's like for me because you can kind of see how if you're who is it, CBS or ESPN, whoever going to be broadcasting the tournament, you
yeah,
can see a
yeah.
scenario where they're really hoping and I don't know if I was talking to Lynn or somebody about this, but no, I was talking to what I'm sponsored about is that I can see a scenario where they will really try to put Caitlin Clark in Iowa on the other side of the bracket, far away from LSU and South Carolina to keep her from having to face both teams.
Of
You know
course.
what I'm saying? And so because if you do it, look, because to me, if you want to really show how quote unquote great she is, put both teams on opposite sides to where she has to go through both USC and LSU to win a national title
It's not gonna
in the
happen.
Final Four.
Well,
they're
she's
not
on
going to do that.
a seed. So your
I
one
know they
seed
won't do that.
right now, I think the one seeds are gonna be South Carolina, USC, Iowa, and who would I give that last one to?
Ohio
South
State.
Carolina.
LSU, 2 seed. I can't remember.
Ohio State. Ohio State.
I don't even know if it's Ohio State because Ohio State lost
I thought they
to
were number 2 in the country.
yeah. But we know those three, and we know LSU is I just saw it a few minutes ago. LSU is going to be a 2 seed. So I don't know where they're going to put whose bracket are they going to put LSU in? Is it going to be South Carolina? Is it going to be
Well, it won't be it won't be in their bracket, but they'll have them again. If they're number 2, they'll be number 2 probably on the bottom side. So because
They'll meet
what
up.
they want to try to do is to have them meet in the Final Four to where the number 2 and whoever the number 1 seed face off in the Elite Eight, and then you got those two
then you got the
in the
final?
Yeah,
Final
that
Four, the 1 and
yeah,
2.
because I'm thinking the 2 seeds are going to be Texas and LSU, the
You
number
think
2 seeds.
Texas?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I
Texas
think
may
so.
be in one of the ones. Yeah, the two
Yeah,
seeds.
in the
Yeah,
Big
we'll see.
12. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it'll be Texas.
And that what's that? That's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So Sunday we'll have that, and then I think Monday is the men's, right, Darren? I got to
Well,
start.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I guess it is this weekend. Yeah, well,
It
yeah,
is.
because men starts. Yeah, men start today. So yeah, it'll be. No, the men will be Sunday. The women should be on Monday.
I thought it was the other way around, but okay.
No,
All right.
because the women's Final Four is the day after the men. So
Oh, they switched this year, so it's after.
it's always been after.
No, it's not. They switch every year. They alternate.
No, the men's is always on a Saturday and a Monday. Women's is always Sunday and Tuesday.
We'll check. Okay. I didn't think so. I thought they
I've covered them.
alternated every year. We'll find out. No biggie. That's no
I
biggie.
believe you. I
Let's
believe
move.
you.
Let's move
I
on.
believe you.
We got a lot to cover in the NFL. So
Oh,
we
we
got a
do.
whole bunch of crazy signings going on. I'm gonna
Oh,
start with
yes,
the
we do.
quarterbacks, and y'all tell me who won, who didn't. And I'm gonna start with starters because we ain't going through everybody. Let's start with Russ. Because Russ is the big elephant in the room. Russ and
Mm-hmm.
his contract. Go
He
ahead.
won, winner.
How could he? No way to lose. You done dropped 85 mil on him. Thank you,
Well, he's
Walmart.
not. Well, the thing is, well, he won't get 85 million. He'll get the 30. He'll get paid from Denver 38 million. He'll get the minimum. He'll get the league bonus. I'm sorry, the league minimum from Pittsburgh. But the good thing about that is that it. But
Wait
what
a
the
minute,
reason I
why you
say he
say he ain't
won.
gonna get 85
He
million?
gonna
Because
get
what
Well,
he
no, no,
done
85
no, no,
this
no,
mil.
no,
year.
no, 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 no. No, the Broncos take an 85 million cap hit, but they don't have to pay him that second that 37 million for the second year because he's no longer on the team. So he doesn't get that
Uh,
money.
I think you might want to read. I
No,
done read
No,
three
no, no.
different things.
No, trust
no.
me. I don't. I know
I
this. I
can't
cover
trust
this.
you.
I
Okay.
know
Okay.
you cover the sport, but we can
I'm
read too.
just.
I
Yes,
mean,
Denver has an $85 million cap hit that they spread out over the two over this year and next year, but that doesn't have anything to do with what Russell is only guaranteed the $39 million for this season that they have to pay. He's
no,
not guaranteed that money for next year.
It's
yes, he
not
is.
true. That's
They
Okay,
said
it's not
Russell will
true.
get. I'm
okay.
telling you what
It's
I
gonna
read
get
now. It said Russell
$85
will
million.
get
You can't
37 million
guarantee money.
on
When you
top of the
guarantee
85.
money, that money is put into a trust, like a different thing.
He does.
That money is
He
guaranteed. When
gets
he
he
signed
he
for his
gets he
money,
gets paid for
all his
this year.
guaranteed money is going to him.
No, 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 no,
Every
no.
drop. And
Hold
they're
on, no,
gonna
no,
pay it out in 2 years.
no. The guaranteed money that he has was a signing bonus, and what he got paid the last 2 years and this year. When they signed his contract, all those years
I'm
are
finna
not
look this up
guaranteed
right now.
dollars.
No, I'm finna sign this right now because
Okay,
no. But we
Go
can
ahead.
move on
Well,
to the next one.
yeah,
you can read
but
that.
but I
Let's.
still say but I still say that he won because some of the additional signings that Pittsburgh were able to get with I think they got a linebacker that I think played for the Ravens that's now playing that they signed today. So no, I like the moves that Pittsburgh is making, and they were able to trade off Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers as well. So you got to get their headache out there, which with that draft pick, will allow them to get other picks and possibly another wide receiver.
Did you say the headache?
Yeah, Deontay Johnson.
You thought he was a headache?
No, I said they felt he was a headache. That's the reason why they got rid of him.
Okay, I didn't. I didn't see that. I
I,
didn't
I
hear that.
didn't I
Well,
didn't hear anything
yeah,
negative
tell me where you
about
got that
Deontay
from.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Throughout the season, he was complaining about not getting catches. He would throw his helmet down the ground. He didn't give a whole lot of effort on plays at times. I mean, it wasn't like it was a secret. It was out there throughout the year.
Okay, I missed that. I know. I remember they showed a couple of plays
I mean, because
where
otherwise, why
he
get rid
was.
of him?
Yeah. No, that was our question. I saw a couple of plays there where he like on the play, but then he
They
kind
got
of
rid of
picked it up
Claypool.
toward the end of the season, got his mind right. I think somebody had got to him. I guess not. It could have been like he was a Antonio Brown, and I know Mike
Production
don't deal
tolerance,
with it. You say what now?
production and tolerance. When you produce, there's so much to tolerate. When you don't,
Understand? Understand? Didn't know that was still a carryover issue. All right, my next one we're gonna talk about Baker Mayfield.
winner. Oh, sorry, I said that kind of loud. Sorry, winner.
Anisha, I know you like Baker.
Hey, I just think Baker bet on himself, and I think it worked out for him. I think the
Yeah.
Browns kind of did him dirty. I really
uh,
do.
and Oh, and I was going to add, he signed a 3-year, $100 million, but only 50 of it is guaranteed. He doesn't get the whole $100 million over 3 years. Tanisha, I just want to make sure you know that now.
I don't think you know what guaranteed money is. That's what
No,
I'm
no, no,
trying to
no, no,
tell
no,
you.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
think you
no,
know
no,
what
no. He
guaranteed
he
money
gets
is.
$50 million of that. He
Yeah.
don't see the other 50 million.
Yeah, we
That's all
know.
I'm
I know
saying.
what guaranteed means.
I know.
I got a nephew that signed some
Russ's
contracts.
whole
I know
contract
exactly
is
what guaranteed.
crazy. So we know that
But
if it's 3 years, if Baker Mayfield only play one, all they owe him is $50 million, and that's
exactly.
including what they pay him this year. We get that.
Russ had a
Russ's whole
5 year.
thing was different. I'm telling you, that's a whole different But anyhow, we can beat up
We
Russ
ain't
Russell.
was
got
like
look.
100. He had
We're gonna
a
let you.
165, I think,
It was
that was
160,
guaranteed.
161 guaranteed.
And he and he
161 guaranteed.
and how much did he get at signing?
124.
There you go. So he got so he's only getting paid like because he had a base salary, and then that salary this year that they're going to be paying.
All right, let's talk about which amounted to that. What they were saying is it amounted to. That's why he took the league minimum. Why would he
Yeah,
take the league minimum? Right, so he could get But
His
all right.
money
No, no,
on the
no. Well,
back
no,
end.
no. He took the league minimum so he could hurt, so he could hurt the Broncos and their cap. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We all saying the same thing. All right.
All
Let's,
righty.
let's talk about your boy Tanisha Kirk Thuggins.
Did you call him Kurt Thuggins?
That's Tanisha's boy. Kirk, yeah. Kirk Cousins.
Love
Did
me
you
some
see?
Kirk Thuggins.
Yeah.
Oh
I
Lord.
did. I love Kirk Thuggins. I love him, and he just got paid. Went over there and got him 180 and then 100 guaranteed. Man, that man know how to get his money.
Oh, he's a
He's a
winner.
simple man. He's a simple man, but he's rich as I don't know what, baby.
You
Hold
think
on.
it?
So
You think he
love
can get
him.
Atlanta to the promised land?
no, nope, not at all.
Hey,
Tanisha,
hey,
how far
I
you think
know.
he can take Atlanta?
I mean, Atlanta still need pieces to me.
Okay.
Atlanta needs pieces, so
And you
he
think
won't
that
be
was
getting
good?
anybody to the promised land, but he's damn sure worth. Kurt is worth his money. So I
Okay.
mean, I don't care what nobody say.
So
He worth his
being,
money.
if you were the
He
GM in
perform
Atlanta,
every
that's the
year.
first thing you're looking for is a quarterback. If you're the GM in
Huh,
Atlanta, first thing pops in your mind is I need a quarterback.
but I
Well,
got
they
a
had a
question
choice
for you.
between Justin Fields and Kirk
Well,
Cousins, and who did they go
I
with?
got a
Okay.
question for y'all.
Straight
Okay,
off an
so
Achilles injury.
yeah, so I got so
Right.
about the
Okay.
my question is, why go with Kirk when he's coming off that type of injury and you don't
I
know
would.
if he's gonna be
I'm asking.
100%? And then for me, look, I disagree. I mean, I personally he won, of course, because of what he
Of course he
signed
did.
for. But I would have gone after Justin Fields. One, because just like Kirk, he's from that area. But two, I mean, you got to think about the culture. I mean, if he, and you give him a different change of pace from Chicago down on that turf. You give him Bijan Robinson and those wide receivers along with Kyle Pitts. I think he could do something with that offense along the lines of what Lamar Jackson did in Baltimore. And
Who
to
Fields?
me,
Come on,
yes,
Fields.
Fields,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And so so for me, you know, I, because Kirk Cousins has a history of not only not playing well in prime time, definitely not playing well in the postseason. I would have rather had a player such as Justin Fields because they're all young players where they could have grown together and I I thought that he could bring a lot of excitement uh, to that offense to that city and help get them. I just thought it would be a better landing spot for him than what's going on currently in Chicago.
I
But I could
I
be
Yeah, but
wrong.
you gotta
I
look
get
at
what
some. Yeah, there's other things too that you have to that I think that an organization takes into account. For example, it's ATL, baby. That's a young guy.
what is it? What is it?
Lot of
Wait a minute. What is it?
lot of distractions, baby. A lot of distractions up there in
Chicago?
Atlanta.
You don't think Chicago got distractions?
It's cold in the man. I ain't even almost said something that would have made it R rated up in here. I had to
Colder
bring
than a
myself.
blankety blank.
Yeah, I had to reel myself in. It's cold in Chicago, but I'm
I
telling
get
you,
it. No, I know I get it,
in
and
Atlanta it's hot.
that's true. That's true. But I mean,
Ooh, it's a
but
lot.
you had those conversations. But Michael Vick, yeah, I mean he survived a lot of those years down there and led them to the led them to the playoff stuff as well. So, I mean,
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have those concerns at all with Kirk
well,
Thuggins.
no, you definitely had those concerns with him, but again, he's 35
Tanisha,
years old.
you said
But
it ain't
again,
an issue, Tanisha.
yeah,
No
but see, but
problems with
again, he's
Kirk
35 years
Thuggins.
old. He's coming off of a real serious injury,
Yeah,
and
but they
and
say he
and
looks good. They say he's bouncing back well from it.
I mean, Deshaun Watson looked good too after he had his shoulder taken off. I mean, that means he don't come back 100%. So that's all I'm saying.
Well,
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, we'll see. I agree with I'm Darren. I'm with you on this because me and Tanisha was talking about it last night. Kirk Cousins ain't never impressed me where he's going to be the guy to take me there. But I would have
I
went
think
with
they just looking for
somebody I could grow
somebody
with. That
not.
young
I think
energy.
they looking for somebody not to lose it for him. Atlanta might be making some moves up here in this draft. We don't know what's about to happen,
They
so
they they
we'll
could be,
see.
but I look at it like a Houston, a young team, a new coach, all that. You got young players. Come on up with them players. Let them come up together. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I was going with it. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Kirk Cousins. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's that guy to get them to the promised land.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Well, Baker, made out like a fat rat. Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins. And
Baker,
then next on my list is Mr. Garner Minshew. That's the went over there
Minshew.
to the Raiders and got a little bit of that change. It looked like he might be one of the highest paid backups in the NFL.
I
Got
think
2 years,
he's
25 mil.
he's gonna be starting, isn't he?
I
For the
hope not.
Raiders, I mean,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
were. I've
I
heard
know they have
chatter about
Aiden O'Donnell, but or O'Connell, but I can't. I mean, well, one, I'm still. I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't like that move because one, when you look at the I don't know, man. I mean, you gonna try to go up against Patrick Mahomes with him at quarterback?
Hell no, I think they're gonna get a quarterback in the draft.
But again, even if that's the case, I mean, I guess you could say, well, you could. You just got to draft a quarterback last year, so now you're gonna have a 1 year quarterback, a rookie if you decide to take one. And what is Gardner Minshew supposed to be? Alex Smith or something? I mean,
do you
He
think?
I
played
don't
for the
know,
Colts.
man.
He played good for the Colts this
Do
past
you
year.
think there's a spot for Justin Fields there
No,
in
because
Vegas?
they would have traded for him. I believe if that were the case.
I think they may be waiting for this price to dip because every day
Talking
Oh,
about the
she's
price,
freezing
or
up
you
on
talking
us. Go
about the
ahead.
draft? Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't know what price you have to pay for him
they're
being a
telling us,
rookie. How much money do you have to
I'm
pay for him?
well, here's the thing: as each day goes by, and especially for what's out there, especially with there's no starting quarterbacks available. I mean, you're not gonna get a first round draft pick for Fields. You might get a fourth or fifth, maybe even a sixth round pick now for him. I mean, because if you're gonna draft Caleb, you have to get rid of him. I mean, you can't have him on the team along with Caleb. You
I
just
agree.
can't.
I agree.
And now if you somehow feel like you can make a massive trade getting off the number one pick and you keep Justin, now what I would have done or what I would do is I would trade a haul for that number one pick, move back a few spots, and I would get Marvin Harrison to go along, saying to continue building that offense up and building around Justin. But that's
That's what I
just
would
me.
have done. That would have been
so
my
we're
move.
in
I would have taken
agreement
him as a
because
number
I
one
don't.
pick.
We're in agreement, but here's the problem. I do agree with that because I feel like you can get a haul, put the rest of those pieces around him, and you're in good shape. You're not going to be in bad shape because Justin Fields has showed improvement, and I think he's going to keep improving. The
And you had
problem
some
with
good
that
signings
is
this offseason too. I mean, you just had some good signings this week too.
that's what I'm saying. The
Yeah,
problem with the
exactly.
problem the problem with that is you are also the team who moved up to get Mitch Trubisky. You cannot afford to screw this up. Turn around
For the
and
third time.
pass up another quote unquote generational
And who is
talent
that? That's
potentially.
right. And that's Ryan Poles, right? He's the new guy on the block that's supposed to be fixing that team.
But
So he's got a big
but here's
decision.
here's my belief though. I don't care. Here's my belief. If Caleb Williams doesn't walk in there and have a great season, all they did is draft him for the next GM anyway, because they're gonna clean house. They
Mhm.
don't that they're gonna clean house. That
I
head
think
coach and that
yeah,
GM are out
they're
of
gonna
there.
have. I think
So,
it's gonna be the head coach that goes. I think that's gonna be the fall guy. I think the
dude, it's gotta
GM.
be the GM. Dude, he's hard. He's picking trash. Like, what are you talking about? He's
The
picking
GM ain't
bad.
picked nobody. Who was Poles pick?
He's the one that got Mr. Trubisky.
No, he ain't.
No, that wasn't him.
Yeah.
Poles
Okay.
That
went to
Oh,
wasn't
no,
him.
no, no,
Kansas
no. My
City.
bad.
We
My
didn't
bad.
get
My
him.
bad.
Poles
That's
was
why I
with the
said
Chiefs
you
at the
give
time. He was
That's
with the
right. You're
right.
Chiefs.
right.
Poles. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So
that's
you
right. They
give
got him
Poles a
up out
new
of there. You're
chance.
right.
Yeah,
Boy,
he
Tanisha
gets
Yeah,
a
so
well.
good
chance. The
at beating
fall
up
guy
on
is gonna be the
GMs,
coach.
boy.
Well,
No, the fall guy is gonna be
hey,
the
say
coach.
what you want to say, but I said what people wanted to hear, and I know I was right.
Facts.
No, I'm with
Oh,
you.
you was
If it
right,
was
all
the
right.
They
same
ain't
GM,
taking nothing back.
I mean, if it was the same GM, yeah, he should have been gone a long time ago. But I think they'll get
No,
rid of.
it
No,
wasn't
I
him.
think
no,
It
if they
my
wasn't
have a
him.
bad.
fall guy, it's going to be the coach. It's
Yeah,
going to be somebody on the
You
coaching
think
staff.
so? I
cause
think
you
both of them
remember.
gone.
No, I don't think they'll get rid of that guy that quick. I don't, because here's the thing.
Well,
He
the pressure
he's
would be
he's
there.
kind of in a lose. It's a lose or a win. If you don't draft Caleb and he goes somewhere and do great, you're like, oh shit. If he does draft him and he
CJ
does,
Stroud all
because
over
you
again.
don't know, right? You just don't know exactly. It's
You
another
don't know
CJ
because
Stroud.
I like Michael Penix. I think there's other quarterbacks in that in this group that are gonna do well.
I'm gonna be
Tanisha,
honest.
there are. I agree with you. They're going to do well, and they may do well with the teams that they're going to. But if you, it's just like If Pat had gone, say for example, Pat or Deshaun had gone to Chicago, would they be
they'd be
having the
back.
career that they're having now?
This Deshaun would be somewhere else. Patrick might be backing up somebody because I ain't gonna lie. To me, Chicago is where careers go to die right about now, man.
Yeah, and Matt
And
Nagy, yeah, because Matt Nagy
and
didn't come over until the second year. He wasn't there the first year Trubisky was there, was he?
he
Had he
would
left?
Yes.
well no
Had
no
he
no no
already
no
left?
he
I thought
but
he did 1 year with
They
Patrick and then left.
and he became the head coach, and then they tried to
And
they
then he
thought he
went
was gonna
back.
be able
So,
to do
and to me, Trubisky
didn't
never
happen.
got a fair. But that's a whole
but
nother. We gonna
but
move. Let's
but
move on
but
to the. Oh,
but
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, but when I
Before we
say
move on to running backs.
but Nagy was there when they drafted Justin Fields.
Yes,
And Nagy, for whatever reason, tried to do the whole Andy Reid thing when he brought in Andy Dalton from Dallas, and Andy Dalton still wanted to be a starter. He wasn't trying to, he wasn't trying to do the whole, I'm gonna groom this guy. Nah, that's not. So kudos to
Matt
the Chiefs
Nagy is
because
a guy.
everybody's not
There's some
worried.
people that should
Everybody's not wired
always
like that.
be. There's some people that should always be assistant coaches and never head coaches.
Mhm.
And Matt Nagy, I think, is one of those. But let's move over. We got to keep it rolling. I'm on the running backs now. Let's talk about Derrick Henry.
Ooh.
Derrick
To be
Henry and the
honest,
Ravens.
most of the running backs won.
But
um,
did their I mean the Ravens? What did that do for the Ravens?
it just it gave them a name. I don't know. And look, for me, and I don't know if you ladies are the same way, I always look at it as chess pieces on the board, as in how, if you're going to take down the Kansas City Chiefs, how does this move help you in accomplishing that mission for next year? I don't really know if it does. Um, it can't hurt. My only question is, will he be able to stay healthy for the 17
Well, that's
games
with
plus the
everybody,
playoffs?
right? Will everybody be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but because he's a workhorse, because he missed 5 games last year, so I mean,
Let me ask you
it just
something about that. Do you think he was really in a rush to get back?
yeah,
Exactly. He knew he was. And he gave a speech after the last game. It
I
wasn't a
mean,
mission.
He knew. He
I
was
would say this.
ready.
I would
Yeah.
say it depends if he had incentives or whatever that he might have been trying to reach. I mean, so I don't know what his
Okay.
contract situation was like that. So, but again, missing 5 games and because there were games where he had like 14 carries but only 6 yards. Like, bro, you
Yeah. He
killing my
wasn't going
parlay
nowhere.
slip. So,
Okay.
so but look, I do think it changes scenery. A team that emphasizes the run game a lot, I think will help him. And then you got a quarterback who, to keep him from taking a lot of abuse running the football, just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry and
Yeah.
let the chips
Yeah. I
fall.
think it's going to help Lamar stay fresh and healthy. I think it's definitely a plus for them. So let's talk about Joe Mixon.
That trade. Yeah, the Houston is just, to me, doing great things in this free agency little run. They're making moves. I think they realize that they gotta their quarterback, and they're gonna try to put everything that they can around them to give them a shot to make a deep run in this next season here. I think Joe
So
Mixon is it's definitely an upgrade from what
I'm
they
gonna ask
had.
you. Let me add on to that, Tanisha. So the Bengals lose Joe Mixon. They may lose T. Higgins because he wants out.
Oh, he don't request
What
the
do you
trade.
think? What do you think is going on there?
He wants
Go
a
ahead,
long
Darren.
term deal. He wants a long term deal, and they won't give it to him. Because if you do, you still got to pay Jamar Chase, and it's going to be hard to have 3 players take up damn near 33% of your salary cap. With $100 million worth of contract each year. So I
Well,
can't.
Yeah.
Go
they
ahead,
putting
Tanisha.
Burrows on that Mahomes. They putting Burrows on that Mahomes plateau where you're gonna have to work with some construction men and some plumbers as your wide receiver.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
prove that you work that money. You can't have it
yeah,
all.
yeah,
You can't have
but
it all.
the problem is
Right.
he's already signed, but that contract doesn't even kick in yet. So that contract is still a couple of years away. So I mean, but right now, I
Yeah,
mean,
you got two
Chase wants
ones.
Chase wants that money. Chase wants 30 million plus.
He already
Because
said that.
I think because I think there was a report from Adam Schefter today that said that Justin Jefferson turned down $30 million a year from the Vikings before last season started. So
Mm.
I mean,
All right. Well,
it's real out here in these streets.
here's one that I don't even want to say it out loud. Well, I ain't gonna get to that one yet. Josh Jacobs going to the
Saquon.
no.
Saquon.
Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay, 48 million, and them giving up Aaron Jones,
How
who
do
was
I feel
already
about
signed
that?
with the
That's
Vikings. That was weird to me.
yeah, but
Listen,
only the first year is guaranteed.
so let me tell you
Okay.
how I feel about this one. Green Bay, they love their quarterback. I've been watching their fans, man. Their fans is like, I wouldn't take anybody over my quarterback except for Patrick Mahomes. They believe that they have a team that's headed towards the Super Bowl. And Josh Jacobs, whether you want to admit it or not, is an upgrade over Aaron. I don't care what anybody say. And Aaron was hurt last year and he was splitting right. He is an upgrade. He's younger, he's faster, and he's more productive on the field. So if they truly believe that they're ready, I understand the move. I understand it. Matter of fact, they just cut him and said beat feet. You know what I mean? They're very confident in what they did. And I don't think I would have passed it up either to have an opportunity to have Josh Jacobs as my running back with that offense that they have that was putting up 69 points in two playoff games. Yeah, I'm going.
I mean, what did Josh Jacobs do last year? The year before he did good. What did he do last year?
He was disgruntled. He was disgruntled employee.
He was
Okay.
disgruntled, but he was also all pro too. He was second team all pro behind Christian McCaffrey. So he was pretty good. I mean,
We'll see.
We'll
see if he fits in. We'll see if he fits in with that style
I
of
think
play
he
or whatever.
would. I think he'll fit in just fine.
They want a quarterback that, like you say, it's all about the quarterback there in Green Bay. So there's a lot of passing going on. We'll see.
But that run game
I ain't
opened up
sold.
that passing game. A good
I ain't
run
sold.
game opened up the passing game.
Right,
So
and I ain't sold.
we'll see.
So you are. I'm not. We'll see what happens.
I said I would have taken Josh Jacobs, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I would have stayed with old boy, but they ain't want him. Okay,
Now Aaron Jones is over.
Let's talk about my boy.
Aaron Jones is over in the Vikings.
Right, Saquon Barkley.
Eagles.
That's a win. Even though he's dead to you and
he's not, don't.
No, that was Tiki Barber.
And Tiki Barber's been dead for years because Tiki Barber sat there and talked a whole lot of shit about Eli and how he couldn't get us to the promised land. And when Tiki retired, the next year we won the Super Bowl. So damn what Tiki Barber said.
Yeah.
For Saquon,
but I
as
think
a
it's a win for
Giants fan,
Saquon.
as a Giants fan, I didn't want to talk to nobody yesterday when I heard the news as a Giants fan. I didn't want to talk to nobody, especially going right up the road to Philly. I'm disappointed in the Giants that you couldn't figure this out and give that man what he just got paid, which ain't a whole lot of money in Philly. And he
was very clear about it.
For Saquon, he said, I want to be a Giant. He said it every year. I want to be a Giant from the time that he got there. And you let him go. So the hell with the Giants. I'm a bleed blue. Now, for Saquon, I'm happy for him.
Dude, you gotta be. The man came out and said he got the guaranteed money he wanted.
Yeah. So that's what it's
about.
On the Giants for that. I don't know what the Giants are doing. Because if you're trying to build a team around Daniel
ain't trying to do too much.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all just made a couple moves while we were sitting here. You just signed Isaiah McKenzie as your wide receiver and Jalen Mills as your cornerback. So you're trying to make some moves here at 7:30.
Did we get rid of Daniel Jones?
No.
Okay. Did we just get McKenzie along with Kadarius Toney from y'all? Who do we get? Because McKenzie coming from the Chiefs.
No,
I'm saying I know
Isaiah McKenzie is right on over there with
y'all got two.
I know Kadarius
we got Richie.
Thuds. Y'all got 2 thuds from us.
Okay. Yeah, well, they got Super Bowl rings.
It don't matter what they got. Y'all got 2 thuds from us.
That's all right.
Y'all can have them. They wasn't gonna do nothing for us. Good on them. They got it. I'm like,
I ain't doing nothing with the people y'all got. So.
Well, shit. What y'all doing with Toney? He's sitting around somewhere talking shit. He didn't play in that last Super Bowl.
That's
they gotta play that. I ain't gonna go there with you. I ain't gonna go there.
Still got 2 of them things.
I got right. And so does a whole bunch of people that you couldn't even name.
But going back to Saquon, I do think it's a win for the Eagles because, granted, Yeah, there's some stuff that they could have used on the back end defensively, but for me, if you can increase your strength, which what they were doing on offense, I think he's a better all around running back than Swift. I can't see how that could be anything but a win for him, and especially for Jalen Hurts because
Well, that's the thing. If
yeah,
Jalen Hurts stopped being a running back, then Saquon could do what he got to do because you
yeah.
had good running backs in Philly, but they weren't running backs. They were just sitting there blockers
Well,
for
it
him.
looked
So I
like
don't know.
they committed to the run now.
Right.
Look
So if they're committed
like
to the
going to get
run,
him.
then I'm all for that. They'll help Philly. Um, the other thing is you got to get a coach, right? So I don't know who their offensive coordinator is because Nick Sirianni to me is not a coach, right? And it was proven when his guys left, when his defensive coordinator, his offensive coordinator left, it showed everything. So I don't know. That team was in disarray last year. I want to see what's going on with them this year. We'll see what happens. But I called it like, and I think we all agreed they wasn't gonna beat Tampa, and they didn't. So it wasn't
Mm.
even a guessing game of that. So I'm gonna jump over. Do y'all want to talk about any more running backs? I mean, yeah, running backs.
I mean, we talk about
Zach Moss went to the Bengals as
Okay.
the replacement, I guess, for Mixon.
but
Uh,
no, but hold on, this thing that frustrates me is that these players and fans are, I don't want to talk about fans, but players make it seem like they got to get through their mindset. Hey, this is a business, because of how if you look at how the Bengals did Joe Mixon, they were going to release him and then they trade him to Houston right before so he could at least go find another team or whatever. I mean, there's this is a cruel business, man, and so hopefully these players will continue to act on it as such and not and keep it business. But the thing I don't like is that the players get so chummy with management or the owners or whatever that you know you're bleeding that line. And that's the conversation I've always had with the NFLPA executive director, that he really doesn't like that because you get too chummy with the owner, and then you get traded stuff like that, and then feelings get involved, and yeah, because you think you're getting lowballed, and then you get cut, and then you get a lower offer, say from
But
somebody else.
Darren, that ain't no different than regular business. Your
And
managers, if you're doing a good job, your managers and everybody is gonna keep your ass and tell you what you want to hear until
you,
they're like, oh shit.
you had enough. We had enough.
No, not even that. He's almost as good, and he's $10,000 cheaper.
Cheaper.
I'm sorry. That's how
really,
that's business. That, like you say, that's a business. So it's two ways because your manager's gonna tell you everything you want to, and then you're gonna hear the praise, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm that, I'm that. I've seen people where I work. They think
Well,
ain't nobody untouchable.
but let me just throw a couple more out here before we move on, because Tony
Okay,
Pollard has left Dallas and he is headed to Tennessee.
that's right.
Austin Eckler is leaving the Chargers and he's over in Washington now. We don't want to. And Gus Edwards is no longer Raven; he is a Charger. So I think those are three that we definitely couldn't just
And Devin
not
Singletary,
give
where was he
them.
at? Because he's with the Giants now.
Devin, he was with Houston and now he's with the Giants.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. So he
all right.
came over to there. So yeah, I didn't want to let those go by or whatever. And then I think Rex Burkhead retired. So I want to give him his props because that guy
Yeah,
played hard for
Aaron,
a
go
long
ahead and hit
time.
mute.
Yeah, he played hard for a really long time. And I think he deserves his flowers. Rex he maximized his potential, I believe. He's one of those guys that was always playing hard and coming through when it was needed. So, but yeah, those are the main running backs that I really wanted to make sure that we touched on. So,
Okay. So we're at the wide receivers now. You already told me that you just told me that it doesn't say Isaiah McKenzie. All I'm seeing is signed a contract with the New York Giants. We don't know what.
yeah.
So we'll skip that one. I ain't gonna say we're gonna skip it. We can come back to it. Gabriel
So,
Davis was one that stood out
yes.
to me.
Yeah, Buffalo letting them go to Jacksonville was kind of shocking.
no, not
I,
really, because I mean they had to get under the salary cap. They're hurting along with the Chargers. But let's talk. Let's about the first one that was made over the weekend. where the Cleveland Browns acquired Jerry Judy from in a trade from
Yeah,
from the Denver
from the
Broncos
Broncos.
on Saturday. That was like the first kind of
Yeah.
domino that started falling over the weekend.
Yes.
Um, I think that that helps the Cleveland Browns and puts a lot of pressure on Deshaun Watson this year. Like, bro, you've got three wide receivers from Alabama, and you got Amari Cooper, Jerry Judy, who's always looked up to Amari Cooper and is a baller. Who's actually considered the best wide receiver to come out of that draft with Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and he was considered the best one out of all of them. So, I mean, you've got the weapons, you got the ball out this year. So I think that was a great move, a great trade by Andrew Berry acquiring Jerry Judy.
Okay. Deontay Johnson, we talked about him earlier. We kind of jumped up, know why he's where he is.
Darnell Mooney. I thought Darnell Mooney leaving Chicago, going to Atlanta, getting that change. 3 years, 39 mil,
Yeah.
26 mil guarantee. I think that's good for him. I think
Devontae Parker going to Philly.
yeah, I like it.
That's a lot. He
Noah
freed up a
Brown.
lot of. They say he freed up 100 and what 33. It wasn't much in cap space, so it wasn't much. Jalen Rager.
I'll
Um,
say, look, I'll say this, just based off of what you said about Devontae Parker going to Philly, and you look at the wide receiver that went down to Atlanta, it's going to put a lot of pressure on these offensive coordinators. You got essentially players who should elevate these offenses and give you a little bit more firepower. Where if you're not putting up points, there's going to be hell to pay this season. I
yeah,
mean,
well,
if I'm a
Oh,
fan of those
agree.
teams and you got all these weapons and you can't get them in the end zone, it's gonna be a problem.
Oh, you ain't got no argument here. What do y'all think about T Higgins? Cause he's like, I'm ready to go.
Well, I
What's a good
think
landing
Patrick
spot
Mahomes.
for him?
I think Patrick Mahomes restructuring that contract to free up $21.6 million. You know what I'm
that
saying?
you ain't even let me get to finish it. I was gonna get to it.
I was
Him
just
and
saying.
Josh Allen, both of them done restructured some deals.
I saw, yeah,
Yeah,
Josh Allen did too, cause he's gonna have to free up
yeah.
some money to get some folks in
So
there.
did so did
Well,
Carr.
Yep.
So did
yeah,
Carr.
well, yeah, but Allen had to do it because they still got to get under the cap by tomorrow. Uh, that's the other thing. They have to be under the salary cap by tomorrow because they were over the cap. But my question is, do you think Cincinnati would trade Higgins to either one of those teams, the Chiefs or
But
the Bills?
well, here's the thing.
I
Explain it
don't
to me
think so.
because maybe I don't understand it well enough. They gave him that tag, but it wasn't a restricted tag, right? Didn't they franchise tag him? What's
Correct.
the
Yeah, yeah.
one?
They gave him the regular franchise tag. So he technically
So that
doesn't have
just
to sign it. He doesn't have to sign the tag until literally right before kickoff to get that full amount. He has up until week 10 to week 8 or week 10 to sign it to be accredited with a full year of service. So he doesn't have to sign it until mid season. But because he hasn't signed it, and doesn't show up to training camp, OTAs, and other stuff. But he wanted to let it be known because he already knows, because dealing with Cincinnati, we know how cheap they are, that they have not been trying to work on a long term deal. They just tagged him so nobody else, so he can go out to the market to see what his worth is. So being a smart player, he just said, "Hey, I don't want to play here. I don't want to play the games. Get me up out of here."
okay.
So
Okay.
he said that they haven't even tried to talk to him since.
Tanisha
Yeah,
froze.
since since they're trying to tag him, and because of that, again, there's no conversations being had. So again, you're just tagging me to keep me away from
From
everybody
everybody
else,
else.
and then
Yeah,
what end up happening is the other teams will end up getting their players or whatever, and then by the
and
time
then
you
he's
say, okay,
stuck.
work out a trade, now no other team has cap space.
Gotcha.
So I saw, and I don't know if you just said this, but I saw they hadn't tried to talk to him since March of 2023. Like they haven't even tried to have any contract negotiations with him at all. So I think he's just ready to roll. Like I think he understands the writing on the wall, and he knows that they're playing games, and he wants out of there.
But to
Um,
answer
Y'all
your
got.
question, I do think a good landing spot would be the Chiefs, of course.
What about
yeah.
Irv Smith?
What about him?
He
He
went to the
wants Super
Chiefs.
Bowl. He wants a
Yeah,
ring.
So it
yeah.
seems like a lot of people are leaving. He was with the Bengals, correct?
Yes, he
Yes,
was
he
with the
was.
Okay.
Bengals.
Okay.
Yes, he's a Devin Duvernay is another one from Baltimore. They went over to Jacksonville. Baltimore let
That's a
him
wide
go.
receiver, right? I'm
Yep.
sorry, I had
Yep.
jumped onto the. I'm sorry, I had jumped over.
I know you jumped to the tight ends,
I
but
was.
yeah,
I was looking at tight
yeah.
ends. I apologize.
No,
So,
it's all right.
Tanisha, something we talked about earlier, right? You know, well, this isn't what we talked about earlier, but I'm a Zach Ertz fan.
Yep.
And I don't know if Zach's been the same since he's been hurt or whatever.
Zach played very well for the
When he
Cardinals. What
came back.
happened is that young stud tight end that they have over there, when he
So he
got
had to
hurt,
go.
showed improved. They was like, we got our guy. Goodbye.
Okay. Okay.
So
Jonnu
yeah.
Smith, you thought that was a good pickup for Miami?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did. I thought when he came back from injury from Atlanta, he had the a couple of good games. The problem is that you got the young bull there, and they got their tight end. So it was I think
I
it's a
see a
good
couple of
move.
tight ends. I can't think of his name coming out of Georgia. I like that kid. Coming out of Georgia. There's some tight ends coming out
Talking
of
about Brock, what's his name? Was it Brock?
y'all
Yeah,
know who I'm
Brock.
talking about.
Yeah,
Is it
Brock.
Bowers? Is it
Brock
Bowers?
Bowers.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers. Yeah, something like that. Bowers.
You know, I've been
Yeah,
loving on him since yeah. You know, I'm a Georgia fan. Look at Darren
but
looking loving on him.
but here's the problem for Jonnu. Mike Gesicki or whatever Gesicki or however you say his name, he was a good tight end to me. But when Tyreek got there, it was all about the receivers. So really,
Yes.
if you're going there, you better be prepared to not get the ball much, because Mike saw the writing on the wall, and now he's a Bengal. He went to the Bengals. The Bengals signed him. So I don't know that it's going to do anything for his career, but he's definitely capable when they do throw him the ball, to make some plays for him.
Yeah.
But
I remember
like
looking
right
at
about
something.
now, it's all about Tyreek and Waddle.
Yeah. As they asked Brock Bowers which quarterbacks would he like to play with, he said Patrick Mahomes and Karen Rodgers.
I mean, if you're smart,
Oh,
I mean,
Karen Rodgers, is that
Xavier
what you
Worthy
said?
wants to play with
Yeah,
him too.
Karen
Pause.
Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, Karen Rodgers.
All right. So
And
Noah Fant, I like Noah Fant. So he's staying with
he's for
Seattle,
Seattle.
correct? Yeah.
He got him a 2-year, 21 mil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's staying.
I don't see. I know we hit like offensive players. What's your biggest defensive?
Chris
Oh,
Jones
there's some.
re-signing with the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah.
I
Chris
want you to go
Jones.
ahead and say it.
It is what it
Yeah,
is.
I
We
mean,
talked to him earlier today, but yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
but
$158 million, 5 years. Sorry, Tanisha, go ahead.
Yeah.
95
no,
million
no.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I see that Gardner Johnson went back to Philly.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you.
Okay.
We got it. We can just kind of go at it because it's just hard to hold it in because it's such good stuff all around here.
Yeah.
I really Daniil Hunter signed with Houston, and that to me was that's awesome as an edge for Houston. That's their I guess the highest amount of money they didn't spent in these last couple of days here, and I think he is worth every penny of that money. If you're basing off what he's been able to do coming up, I like that move for them. It's been
What about
a
Willie
few good
Gay?
ones. I don't know what. Oh Lord, I don't know.
Yeah, he
They're not
signed
gonna
with the
be.
Saints for $3 million up to $5
1
million.
year.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
Signed
1 year.
deal.
Kind of
Yeah.
disappointed. Chiefs didn't bring him back
Yeah.
for whatever.
I don't understand. I mean, all you heard all year, Willie Gay, Willie Gay, Willie Gay. He was doing a lot of things. So I was like, I was surprised not to see him back. Another guy that got me was Poyer. Poyer going over to Miami from the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Poyer's good. I've always liked him. I
Bills
like,
just didn't have any room
No.
underneath the salary cap. That's, I mean, because
what is that salary cap looking like? There's a whole bunch of
No,
people leaving the Bills.
them and New Orleans, they were like, New Orleans was like $80 million over the cap. I mean, look, they were a lot. I mean, the Chargers. Look, you got the Chargers talking about trying to trade Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack because they, players that worth too much money.
Mike
That
Evans.
cap is not Mike Evans.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
Oh, I was like, Mike Evans. Shit, I thought he just
Yeah,
signed
Mike
with,
Williams.
yeah.
Mike Williams
Williams.
he's been hurt his whole career. I could see them trying to get rid of him because they can't keep him on the field. I mean, they've gotten very little
every year, right?
Very little from him every year. Yeah, so I can kind of see that.
Shout out to
Bosa
our
and
mayor here
Khalil
in
Mack.
Kansas City. Got
Bosa
to
and
give a shout
Khalil
out
Mack,
to
though.
our mayor, Quentin Lucas.
Okay.
He's here. Says hi.
But one hello, how you doing? But the one that I think one of the things that's happened, I think Christian Wilkins from Miami to the Raiders. Ooh, the Raiders have committed to laying the wood on them Chiefs, on them
So
Chiefs and everybody else. I'm telling you, listen, that's big. That they are committed to that defense. It's serious over there. They're not playing around.
okay.
They're not
So
playing around. And they already got Devontae Adams. They got the wide receivers they need. So that team is getting really, it's starting to get a little scary a little bit to me.
I think
That
I
was a
think
good move.
okay. I think we're gonna let Darren go. I know your game getting ready to start. But the next show that we go into, we're gonna talk about who's out there now, right? So these teams are
Mhm.
starting to take some shape with what they want to get, and then start plugging in those holes with players from the draft. I think that's our next conversation next week, and we're gonna talk about the 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 championship, NCAA championships also. This is not gonna
Okay.
stop. If we feel an emergency and we need to have another podcast,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have one over the weekend and some more crazy stuff. Or we could do like a 15-minute pop in with everybody say, "Oh my God," because I think there's gonna be another "Oh my gosh."
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
some more
It's too
coming.
many good people
Definitely
out
do.
I
there.
think some more
You
coming
got
because I see
Cap. It's
Patrick
too.
Mahomes going. I see Patrick Mahomes going to the New York Giants.
Huh? Yeah, well,
You
hey,
know,
I'm
I
gonna call
got tickled. I
I'm
got
gonna call
tickled.
you a naysayer.
No, but I do
Like,
see Calvin Ridley going to the Chiefs. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can see that. I
Yeah,
can see
he's
that.
he's floating out there. That's a floater. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It might happen tonight. But
I,
Darren,
I will say this before we go. The Chiefs, though, they don't have to go out picking, people up from free agency. But
Hmm.
what they are good at doing is letting everything clear up, and they getting these players for the cheap. Maravich ain't slick. I know what he's doing.
You
Getting
said
these,
they what they doing it. They
trying to get
let
these players
everything
for the
clear up
cheap.
and then what?
Get these players for the
Yeah,
cheap. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna see what the value is. Now you're gonna come play at our rate.
oh, I know, I
Mhm.
know. That's how they do. We'll see if it works for them. You can't continue to do that. I mean, we'll see. They
That's what
got
I'm
lucky this
saying.
year, but it was a whole lot of controversy at the beginning of the year and midway through the
Hmm.
season. And now because they won another one, Brett Veach is a genius. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if I'm buying
Yeah.
that. But Darren, like I said, go watch the game. I'm gonna be watching the game in a few minutes. Enjoy.
Hmm.
We will chat with you, if not later on this week, next week. Again, as always, thank you for coming on with us, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. So, Tanish,
Yep. Yes.
he said yes.
Yes.
Lot going on. I mean, we could go on for another 30 minutes. We're not going to do it. We might have to have another show, just me and you talking about
I
a
think we're
whole
gonna
bunch of
have
stuff
to because
that's going
we're gonna
on.
have to
Um,
because it's too much out here. It's too much great
It
stuff.
is. It is. And this
Yeah.
is, season 3. This is season 3, episode 1. So we out there. We're gonna pick up some more stuff. But I just want to know, you got any tell me what you got for a closing thought.
Closing thought. I had something
I know I
earlier
always
that I
hit you
wanted to
with
talk
that. You
about.
always like,
No, but I had something earlier, but and this is just I'm a big fan of Matthew Slater, who played for New England for a very long time. He retired recently, and I think there's been a couple of guys that I've seen here in the last month or so that's been retiring that have given a lot to the game. TJ Watt's brother is retiring. I think his name's Derek Watt. He's retiring. I mean, it's a lot of good players. Like I said, Rex Burkhead. I just want to give those guys, some props for a great career that they had. I hate to see them go. It's been, it's a lot of guys. Teddy Bridgewater. It's a lot of people, a lot of names that we're used to calling that are walking away from football and retiring. I hope that I wish them nothing but good health. And I know it's a physical game, and I hope that they were able to get out the game with no residual, effects. So that's kind of my closing thoughts. thanks for what you guys did for the game, and congratulations on your retirement.
Okay, cool. I like that. For me, being that it's Women's History Month, I'm gonna go back to how we kicked off the show. And I'm gonna talk about, history, right? Some history was made, new history. I'm gonna bring up some other folks maybe later on this month, but I give a shout out to Caitlin Clark. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you broke a record. I give a shout out to Lynette Woodard. You had that record for 43 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that's some history right there, and history that touched each other, and they shared moments or whatever. And we got to see that play out. So shout out to them, and shout out to all of the female athletes and what they contribute to their sports and to sports overall. For what we've seen, and what we're gonna see here in the future. I think there's some record breakers that are coming up, Juju Watkins,
Mm-hmm.
all those,
Mm-hmm.
but the people that have
Oh
gone out there and
yes.
done it, it's Women's History Month, so I take my hat off to all of them. A lot of them are role models in different ways for me,
Mm-hmm.
and for the young ladies coming up. Stay with the sports. You stay with the sports, and you never know. You never know where it could
Mm-hmm.
take you. So, I love that, and as we always say, it's 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 so much going on in the world, right, Tanisha?
Mm-hmm.
We know that it's just so much going on in the world. Bad. It's easy to be kind,
Mm-hmm. It
and
is.
that's what I just say to people. Please, be kind, be blessed, because why, Tanisha?
It's
It's
free.
free, right? So until next time, folks, do that, and we'll see you on the other side.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to Two Gems and a Mic. Be sure to subscribe and follow. Until next time, remember, be kind, be blessed. Peace.